Another way of finding gold is mossing. Now what you're doing is you're hoping that this moss caught gold because it has little fingers sticking up out of it that the gold washes over and it gets stuck down in there, and then it gradually works down, and then as the moss grows on top of it, it gets stuck there. So you have to pull it off of the rock, break it up in the pan or in a bucket or something, just get it dissolved, and then pan it out and see if you have any gold in it. Several features about the modern sluice were inspired by moss. That matting underneath there is called miner's moss because it's kind of reminiscent of how this works. It gradually catches the gold and just holds it and sucks it down in there. So we're going to start here, and along this rock you can see we have a crevice underneath here. When possible, you want to scrape out in a crack, because usually the cracks can be deeper and they're going to have more gold in them. Because oftentimes the moss will grow on top of a piece of dirt that's already piled up there. And so if you have a nice little chunk of dirt under there, and the moss grows on top of it, you might have a nugget under there even. But most of the time when you're mossing, you're going to be finding small flakes to flour gold. And you're just going to scrape this off. Sometimes you find it really thin, where it's only like about a ½ inch or an inch of dirt underneath it. Sometimes it's thicker, we have closer to an inch, and all of this could have gold in it. And sometimes it's more like 2 inches. But whatever it is, you want to get all the dirt you can with it and the moss, take it and set it in a bucket, and then I'll show you how to clean it off. Now there's some overlap between mossing, crevicing, and popping off rocks because we're working in a crevice here, we're pulling the moss off, and there's a rock here that'll probably break loose. It's got a crack beside it. So we want to take that and wash it off in the moss so that if there's any gold, I can see some dirt that got caught on the side of here. If there's any gold in there, we want to wash it off into our bucket. You see here's about a ¼ inch to ½ inch of dirt that got stuck down the side here. So there could be gold down in here, and it's a good chance if it ever did get caught, it'll stay there. So first you want to take your bucket and fill it with water, and then agitate it like a washing machine. And this is going to break loose most of the dirt from off of the roots of the moss. This is the pan I pulled up earlier. And we're going to continue doing this, squeezing with our fingers like that to try to break up any clods of dirt. And then pour it into a pan with your classifying screen on top, or you can use a bucket classifier at this point if you want to, but I didn't bring it down to the river today. And then rub it around to the screen. Do this underwater if you need to get all the dirt washed off of the roots and broken up, because I can still see little pieces of dirt on here, and that means there could be gold on here as well. And that just means you need more water washing it off faster. Now toss that. Do this whole bucket. So this is the material we got off of just one 2-gallon bucket full of dirt. So we probably have half a pan or so off of this, and we'll probably get the same amount off of that. Now I'm going to pan both of these. You can also run them through a sluice if you've got one running, but there's no real reason to because you're not moving that much dirt today. Mostly with moss, you could just be moving a lot of moss and just working the little bit of dirt that you get out of it, and then see what gold you got in there. So here you see the product after a couple of buckets. Now it's not the world's biggest pile of gold, but it didn't take very long to get it either. Now usually since I'm working with a pan all day, I won't try to get it completely clean. I'll just go ahead and suck up all of it, black sand and everything. That way I don't spend all day doing this. I just suck up all the black sand like that and take it home and clean out my blue bowl. Now one more thing I need to mention before I get out of the mossing video is that some places mossing green moss is illegal because pulling up the live moss is against the local laws. So make sure that you check that before you start doing it. Usually dead moss is okay anywhere because anything dead they don't care about. In general, I'm not a big fan of mossing because it doesn't usually pay as much as the other concepts you see in my other videos. But in the wintertime when you can't get in the river anyway, it's a pretty good way to do some prospecting out of the river, and you might still find some stuff up here. But it's not usually a lot of gold. It's just enough to sort of pay your way.